Sitting here with Kenny Francis, crew chief for the number 5 Farmers Insurance Group Chevrolet, the newest crew chief over here at Hendrick Motorsports. How's the transition been? The sort of learning a new system? Has it? How have you navigated that?
Well, it's it's been challenging, to get used to how we do things here at Hendrick Motorsports, and to try to integrate the way Kasey and I are used to racing, and try to integrate that with all the technology here at Hendrick Motorsports. So I think there's a lot of positives to it, and hopefully, if we can combine kind of our efforts and take what we were doing that's good, and take what Hendrick Motorsports is doing that's good, I think we'll have something really good, really competitive this year.
Well, and you've worked with a lot of different manufacturers at this point. You were with Ford, then you were with Toyota, now you're over here with Chevy. Does that give you any sort of advantage or a little bit more insight? I
don't think it's necessarily as much the manufacturers that we worked with in the past as the particular race teams that we worked with in the past. And every place we've been has had a little bit different view on things, a little bit different way to do things. So I think that bringing that along is pretty neat. It gives me a little bit different background than the guys that are here at Hendrick Motorsports, because most of the guys here at Hendrick Motorsports have been here most of their career. Right. So all they've ever really seen is the way Hendrick does it. So it's been interesting. It's been challenging, but I think we'll be okay.
With what you guys were able to accomplish last year, now you come to a Hendrick Motorsports, do you feel like a sense of expectation or a sense of pressure just based on the quality of a race team here? And you guys have proven that, hey, you can go out there and win races. Now you're with Rick Hendrick's team. Is there any sense of pressure for you at all? Well,
there's always pressure. You've always got pressure to win. If it's normally from within. You're self-motivated in this sport. If you can't motivate yourself and you don't put pressure on yourself, then you probably won't be successful in this sport. But of course, there's the expectation, here at Hendrick Motorsports, that we're going to go win multiple races and get in the chase and contend for a championship, and that's what we expect of ourselves, as well as what the sponsors and Mr. Hendrick expect as well. So we're looking forward to that.
You look at Kasey's career, and it's sort of, I remember the first couple of races, it's just really an eye-opening situation. A guy who, when he was hired by Ray Evernham, hadn't even won a nationwide race, and he comes out in those first few races, I think of Rockingham, and I think maybe it was California, so, he's finishing second and third, and he's always been good on the downforce stuff. Is there something about his driving style that works with that kind of racetrack?
Yeah, it's certainly Kasey's driving style tends to suit intermediate tracks. It tends to suit the faster tracks, but he's pretty good on short tracks. Obviously, we just won at Phoenix.
Yep.
In the last
first win
year.
was at Richmond in his career.
Yeah, first win was at a short track.
Yep.
So we've really, actually, if you look at our record, we've got a pretty good record at speedway racing. We either run up front or we end up in a wreck. But
that's the way it is.
He's pretty diverse. He's got a road course win. So, but definitely is. Kasey's bread and butter seems to be the higher speed, I'd call him more finesse type tracks. He's pretty good, really smooth, really finesses the car.
You've known you were coming over here for a while. For more than a season. Was it hard last season to sort of focus on your job at Red Bull? Were you also simultaneously planning for the transition to Hendrick? Did you have to sort of balance those two things, or Hendrick wasn't even part of your mindset?
Pretty much at Red Bull, we pretty much focused on just Red Bull. We really didn't interact much at all with the Hendrick side, and primarily that's probably because it's Toyota versus Chevrolet, and we were really working for a Toyota team and not a Chevrolet team. So really, we didn't feel ethically it was right to mix those two. So we definitely just stayed away from that. So we focused 100% on the Red Bull thing last year, and then when it was winding down right there at the end of the year, we started putting our focus into Hendrick Motorsports. So it's been a little challenging getting up to speed, but it's going fine. We feel like we got really good race cars coming along, and we're working on our systems and the way we do things to incorporate that into Hendrick. So we did do the Charlotte test last year, but that was kind of like Kasey drove the car, and I just kind of showed up and watched more or less. So that was kind of a little getting our feet wet, but we really didn't feel comfortable with mixing those two, so we didn't. It's interesting, though, to work with a Chevrolet team. I think this is the first Chevrolet I've ever worked on in my whole career.
You got them all now, right?
Yeah.
They're all checked off the list.
Now if they'll just bring Pontiac back, you'll be
right. Well,
at least it's
General Motors.
Hudson.
There you go. All right, that's Kenny Francis, crew chief for the number 5 Farmers Insurance Group Chevrolet at Hendrick Motorsports. Thank you for your time, sir.
All right, thanks. Yep.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.